Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 30 of Touch. This one is titled Damn Feathers. How long have you known, you asked softly. About you having a quirk or your situation, he asked with a chuckle. Both, you asked as you ate a bit of chicken. This is really good, by the way, you added. He beamed. Well, thanks. I'm glad you like the food here. Maybe you'll stay forever, he said with a wink as he bit into another piece of food. A small smile pulled at your lips. Okay, let me start at the beginning, he said with a sigh. That first day that I met you, when you were hiding in the closet, I sensed a quiet strength in you. You snorted softly. No, seriously, he said with a chuckle. I know you're shy, but you're not timid. There's a difference. No, but I am timid, you replied. No, you're not, and I can prove it, he said, standing up and lifting his shirt up with one hand. You quickly looked away. Look at me, baby, he said lowly, and your heart rate went through the roof. Why? You asked, needing an excuse to look at his bare front. Just look, he said again. You looked, and he was pointing to a small mark on his sternum. That's where you had the knife up against me, he said with a wry smile. A timid person couldn't hold a knife to someone. Granted, you wouldn't have been able to follow through, but you still had the guts to hold it. You gasped softly. I'm so sorry, I didn't know that I'd marked you, you said, getting up and walking over to him. He looked down at you as you gently placed a hand on his chest and looked closer to make sure it wasn't too big of a mark. I hope it doesn't scar, you said sadly. I hope it does, he said in a smooth voice. You looked up at him. His intense golden eyes shot through your heart and you were transfixed. Proof that you've left a lasting impression on me, he said lowly, as he craned his head down and his lips captured yours. He let go of his shirt and cupped your cheeks as he tried again to deepen the kiss, his tongue swiping over your bottom lip gently. You parted your lips slightly and allowed your tongue to connect briefly with his before pulling bashfully away. Aw, he sighed. It's just getting to the good part, he added cheekily as he wrapped his arms around you and gave you a hug. Come and sit down. Let me continue my story. He took your hand and led you to the lounge, plopping down on it and gently pulling you on your hand so that you'd sit beside him. Now, where were we? He leered from the corner of his eye as a mischievous smirk pulled at the side of his lips. Me, he said softly. You were supposed to say, we were talking about me, but all that came out was the me part. I would like to be on you, yes, he said cheekily. Can we focus, please? You squeaked with embarrassment. He chuckled playfully. Okay, so I saw on your profile that you were registered as quirkless, but there were x-rays that said otherwise, he said casually. Then when you used your quirk on me, it cemented that fact. Wait, what? You yelped. You knew? Yeah, I knew, he chuckled. All it really did was amplify my already present feelings. Wait, what? You thought? I'm pretty sure I've made my feelings towards you known, Yin, he said with a smirk. I already have had those thoughts about you. You coughed and looked down into your lap. Hawks went on to explain how he had linked you and your father, and then how he had spoken with your dad, even going so far as to point out the emotional manipulation that you'd been under. You told him about your mum's withdrawal, and a bit about what it was like growing up, and he listened quietly, and placed a sympathetic hand on your knee, occasionally patting your leg or stroking along your thigh, which was very distracting. He told you how he had purposefully told you about the capture earlier that day to warn you about the agent's intentions. At that point, he still wasn't supposed to have known about you and your quirk because you hadn't told him yet, so he kept his cover. Mum, you said suddenly. Where's Mum? Is she okay? You asked as a tear slipped from your eye. I saw them taking her. She had tape over her mouth and... Wait, what? Sorry, say that again, Hawks said, confused. They had tape over Mum's mouth when they took her to the car, you said in a wobbly voice. Why did they do that? She was screaming. Hawks looked at you, studying your face. Another tear slipped from your cheek. Hey, shh, he said softly, as another tear escaped and rolled down your cheek. Don't cry. I'll look after your mum, okay? He smiled gently at you and leaned in to kiss your lips. Trust me, Yin, he breathed, as he pulled back from you. You nodded slowly. We need to write your resignation letter too, he said suddenly. What? Resignation, Hawks said. You can't go to work tomorrow, or ever again, because they know your name now, they know where you work, and they know what colour underpants you're wearing. You paused and thought. So, yeah, I know what colour you're wearing, he said. How do you know? You screeched. Feathers, baby, he laughed. They can determine colour, you gasped. Hey, now, if I confirmed it, I'd be giving away all my secrets, he leered at you. You chatted a little bit longer, then Hawks looked at his watch. It's late, chicken, we need to go to bed, he said with a yawn as he stood up. Let me show you your room. Thought I was bunking with you, you thought cheekily. Hawks pushed the guest bedroom door open and flicked the lights on. It was a nice room with a queen-size bed in the middle of it, but it was missing quilt covers. "Where are the blankets?" you asked with confusion. "Oh," he laughed. "I forgot to put them on the guest bed because I don't have any covers on my bed. I've got my wings." "Oh, that's so cute," you gushed, then realised that you'd said that out loud. "You want to see cute in action?" he asked with a smirk and a cheeky eyebrow raise. "You can sleep under my wings." "Hawks, why do you tease me like this?" you squeaked, covering your face with embarrassment. "I told you to tell me to stop when you're uncomfortable, but you haven't yet, so I'm just talking with all filters removed." "Have you ever talked with filters in?" you asked cheekily. "Whoa, I'll take that as shade," he replied with a chuckle. "I'll use it as my blanket." You cracked a smile. "I'll grab some blankets for you," he said as he turned and walked out. "The offer still stands for my bed," he called over his shoulder. You shook your head rapidly, and he chuckled. "I'll be back." You walked over to the bed and sat down, bouncing slightly to feel the firmness of the bed and patting the pillow. As he removed your hand, one of Hawks's red feathers poked out from underneath the pillow, and you jumped with surprise. "Hawks, your feather is here," you shouted. "Stop finding my hidden feathers," he called back cheekily. "How else am I supposed to get close to you?" You picked it up and ran your fingers over it gently. I like that, baby," Hawks purred from down the hall, and you dropped the feather with shock. He cackled. I'm kidding," he said as he returned to your room with blankets. "You want me to read you a bedtime story?" And there ends chapter 30, and stay tuned for chapter 31.